Hello and welcome again. Today I am coming up with a very important topic of skilled migration or so-called permanent residence. So what exactly is PR in Australia? How can you get PR in Australia? So it depends. So the size and composition of migration program is set each year alongside the Australian government budget process to inform the development of migration program settings. The Department of Home Affairs consult widely with state and territory government, academia, industry and community organizations when it comes to the migration quota. Public submissions, economic and labor force forecasts, international research, net overseas migration and economic and fiscal modeling are all taken into account when planning the program. So there are several visas, but today I will be explaining three most common or so-called popular ones, which is popular among skilled person or a student who recently graduated. So the three visas that the three visa subclasses are 189, 190, and 491. Out of which 189 and 190 are permanent visa, and 491 is a provisional one. So coming to the point, so how can you apply PR in Australia? So that is the most asked question that I do get in my office. How can you be eligible? What are the steps? First of all, you need to be skilled, and you can become skilled by studying the right course and or have enough skilled work experience. So second one is after you study, you need to do skill assessment. So there's a different body to do skill assessment. It's not immigration. So depending on your course, there are various ways of doing a skill assessment. Some occupation even need work experience after study. So occupation that are in demand in Australia are publicly available, and it is known as skilled occupation list. You can Google that list. If you study a right course, you can be one of these occupation. You can end up working in one of these occupations which are in demand in Australia. So there are so many occupations, but student tends to choose only common ones like information technology, accounting, commercial cookery, nursing, just to name few. So I would suggest you to try and explore your own interests. It may be on the list, on the skill list. There are hundreds of occupations that can get you a permanent visa in Australia. So third one is you need to be under the age of 45 years. 45. Different age bracket has different points. Maximum point that you can claim in age is 30 points. When you are at least 25 and less than 33 years old, you get 30 points towards your visa. So you need a minimum of 65 points just to be eligible. But please note, minimum of 65 points is not always enough for you to get invite for PR. So it's a point system that leads towards your PR. So you need to have enough points to get permanent visa in Australia. It works in a point system. You have higher chances if you have more points, of course. So you need to have good enough English. 7 in each band in IELTS or will give you 10 points, and 8 in each band will give you 20 points. Anything less than 7 in each is no point at all. So it is always good to improve your English. It's only a language, and you can improve. You also need to meet health and character requirement to get permanent visa in Australia. So you can get these points. Get these points from education, your age, 2 years of study in Australia, skilled work experience, your relationship status, regional study, NATI, or even you get points through professional year for some courses. So there is also a skill occupation list in state and territories. If you happen to study a course that is in demand in the state, they can nominate you for a visa, and you also get points. So it says 5 points for 190 visa and 15 points for 491 visa. So 190 and 491 are very attractive visa these days, but they are not always open and not always, and the state not always sending invites. So you just need to be ready and keep making yourself even more skilled to get an invite. It all depends on how well you are prepared, how well you plan, and what course you study, which state, which occupation you're working in. So it all depends on all these criteria for you to get a nomination from the state, which can lead towards PR. So every state they have different requirements, like work experience, the job offers, and some occupation even need English requirements. So it depends on what subject did you study, which state where you study, where do you work, what is the occupation that you are at. So combining all these, and if you're skilled enough, you get invite from the state, which will help you to get permanent visa. So the bottom line is, if you want to migrate, minimum you must have is you need to study the right course, which is in demand. You must do your skill assessment, be at the right age, have good enough English, and try to find job in a related field. So these are absolute minimum on what you need to get a permanent visa in Australia. As I said, 65 is minimum points, but during these days, it may not be enough to get an invite for permanent visas. Most of the occupations are constantly on the list, but some occupation tends to change time to time. So one important fact that you might not know is that each occupation has ceilings on the number of places that can be granted. So this means that some occupations have a lot more places available compared to others. The occupations that are in demand now, or most of the times, are registered nurses. Of course, they are always in demand as I speak. Electricians, carpenters and joiners, secondary school teachers, metal fitters, and machinists. So it says machinists, not mechanics. So, and the other on the list is the motor mechanic as well. Management consultant, construction managers, software applications programmers, structural, steel and welding trade workers, just to name few. These are some of the occupations that they have high quota, and then the number of worker that is needed in these occupations are pretty high. Hope this gives you some information about permanent residence in Australia. Please subscribe and remain up to date with news and the visas for Australia. I will come up with more detailed information in my next video. Thank you.